Hey guys, Kazan of the Sand here. We are going to be doing a tier list esque type of thing, where we are going to be going through 3 games that I like, specifically tower defense games, and we're going to be rating them. This is going to be the top 3, and without further ado, let's just get into it. First, we're starting off with Universal Tower Defense X. It is currently the most active game right now, and it's also one of the games where I have one of the most hours in. It's a fairly popular game right now, and I definitely expect it to get a lot more popular over time due to the current state of anime tower defense games on Roblox. Okay. Let me first up the graphics level. Okay. So here's the thing. This game, as you can see, I have like level 201. Let me put my mic down now. This game, it has a decent amount of content in it, and you can spend a while doing things. And I mean, there's just a lot to do, really, and you could do things to where you can get even stronger from when you might normally in other games be in the end game phase. But over here we have the dailies and whatnot. But the thing that makes this game a bit different is they have multiple versions of just challenges, story, and then you have the virtual realm, which is its own thing. I don't see a lot of people talk about the virtual realm in this game. I personally haven't done all of the stages, but you can earn decent rewards just by doing virtual realm as it is. I mean, you earn 2k every 30 waves or so that's pretty good. Additionally, what this game has completely different from other games, which really makes it stand out, is if you go to your items, you have relics, which in other games, in the other game I will be showing, there's a version of the relics, but it's not nearly as good as this. And you can just choose between extra damage, cooldown, crit rate, and all that. And overall, I will say this game does lack in UI, but what it lacks in UI, it makes up for it in features. Because I mean, you could just go around, boom, there's something to do there, there's something to do there, something to do over there, something to do over there. But it's not to the point where it's like overwhelming, like everything, anywhere I click I have something to do, you know? The raids, it's a feature nearly every game has, so I'm not going to really go over this, but you can earn exclusive characters from this, and they are planning on removing one soon. But I'm just going to showcase a little bit of me doing the new thing in this game called Universal Tear. And we're just going to be, I guess, fighting Sukuna since he's in the game, or since he's, you know, the one on the banner, I guess, the rotation. There is a soft pity system, not very difficult to get. It could take you like an hour and a half, get one of the strongest characters in the game. Like I said, not that bad compared to some of the other games we're going to be looking at, but it's not actually that bad considering the find the match option, which I'm going to show another game. It just doesn't, the other games, it just doesn't work. But this one, of course, it does take a little bit depending on the time of the week and the time of the day. But in this game, it just works. You know, it just works. So I'm just going to fast forward when it appears. Okay, as you can see there, it took around 31 seconds to join a match. That is not at all bad considering I'm playing towards a time where I guess people would be eating dinner and whatnot, so they might not be like focused on the games. But we're definitely going to we're gonna lock in a little bit here. For this showcase, I'll even turn on VFX. I normally have VFX off because it's just easier for me to play while not having my FPS get destroyed. It looks like they're doing pretty well. I personally don't have him. So he's one of the characters I think I want to get. I'm not entirely sure. I mean, he seems to be pretty good, but I'll have to see. Again, why is it not showing VFX right now? That is a great question. I think I still have them off somewhere. Show VFX. Show other unit VFX. Okay, so we can see their VFX. So we're gonna quickly lock in. Now I'm just gonna be showing mine since we need something to basically compare. So this will turn off their VFX and we'll just have mine. There's my Sukuna. In this game, there isn't an option to like put your camera in Sukuna's view, which kind of sucks, but his abilities are pretty cool. I mean, don't humiliate me here. Okay, well, I guess this one is just that. But what you can do here is you can activate this ability called 10 Umbra, and you can summon any one of these. Well, you can't summon the adapter wheel, who just gained that, and then you can see here it allows this unit to adapt. Summons Perfect Curse, which gives a list of status effects, and then this one passes adaptations onto your unit. I personally like Perfect Curse. It's just, I think having a unit where you do DOTs is better than, I mean, I could be completely wrong, but me personally, I think that's just better. Also, this game does have better supports. Just overall, you don't have to do as much as some of the other games. And then one of them, I don't even know if there are supports. I haven't, it's going to be kind of biased and a little bit skewed, but I haven't necessarily played it that much ever since they kind of sort of re-released it, so to speak. So that's kind of a glimpse into the next game I'm talking about, which I think will be the one that, you know, I rate probably the craziest. But that's pretty much, I mean, we're pretty much done here. They didn't need my help to do all this. Of course, I'll still help because, you know, I'm a kind fella, you know. I'm pretty kind. I'm freaking lying straight out of my teeth here a little bit here. It's all right. It's all right. There we go. There we go. Also, did not realize Ichigo was a hybrid at max. I wish I knew this beforehand. Yeah, he's getting cooked. Oh my lord. Yeah, but I will say just overall in terms of like how this game updates and whatnot, this game, I'm gonna have to tell you at the end, but this game's looking pretty favorable indeed. Oh, did not mean to replay. We're gonna go back to the lobby. So yeah, this is pretty good. This is pretty good. Okay, you can cut this part out until I say okay. Okay, so next one on the list, kind of controversial right now, but we're going to be doing Anime Vanguards. I have played this game out of the three the most, and I have to say, this game is good. It's not bad. I know a lot of people are kind of dogging on it. It's a good game, you know? But the issue with it is the fact that it just lacks new content. Like a lot of games, this game has a pretty decent list of features attached to it. And recently they added a thing like the previous game where now you have a thing called Memorias, which you can add to your units. Now, once I go into it, of course, I'll show, but it's kind of gotten to the point where they're not really adding much in terms of content, and it's kind of making it serial owner. Oh, okay. So yeah, like I said, I play this a lot. I have a serialized unit, and it's been a minute. Like, I don't even remember using this potion. I'm level 88. In this game, that's actually not great, I don't think. But yeah, I got a couple of Vanguard units. Now, I will say, I'll give the game some props. The game just looks beautiful. Like, this game already looks 20 times better in terms of like UI, VFX, than the first game, Universal Tower Defense. And it's not that it's necessarily hard to beat Universal Tower Defense. There's definitely some other tower defense games out there. It's just the most popular right now, and it's getting the most amount of hype behind it as well. Now, with this game, see, it's kind of hard for me to even get into this specific game because it's kind of just all the same thing. I mean, they added prop hunt. I haven't played it. You know, they still have the Ice Queen here, which is just the event they've had since December, which we're getting into. We're in May now, so you know it's been there for a bit. Ah, yes. Let's see. What is this? Something about stages. I low-key don't know. I'm kind of fried right now due to just how boring these games have been. But, you know, it would probably make them update these games more is if they just put a timer on the event section. Like, instead of having, oh, when update 12 eventually comes out, no, just have it to where 2 months. If they tell us it's 2 months, that would be way better than randomly figuring things out. But like, oh my gosh, it's in terms of scenery, they are really good. Like, they had the meteor in the background because this is kind of the Naruto update, which, you know, I'll get into that in a minute. I'll get into that. So let's first go into this system here. You have the banner, which is interesting because, like I said, they have a thing called Memorias, which you can attach to your characters. They still have the winter update. Big yikes there. Big yikes indeed. I personally have never gotten the Vanguard unit off the banner, which he's, of course, I'm being invited to something. He's pretty good, especially with the new Memoria, which I do have for him. I just gotta get him, and then I gotta Evo him, and that's literally all I gotta do. But yeah, for this one, I think it's only fair to do the raid, right? Because I think there's a new raid for Naruto. Again, I really haven't played too much. No, there isn't. Oh my gosh. Yeah, there's not much in this update. I mean, maybe it's a dungeon. Maybe I could be completely wrong. Unless the dungeon's the Ichigo update. Yeah, oh boy. That's actually sad. That is so sad. Oh boy. So before the Naruto update, it was the Bleach update. The Bleach update actually had a pretty decent amount of things in it. I mean, they added a Vanguard Ichigo, which I'm not sure if you can see the profile, but I love Ichigo and I love Naruto, so it's like, you know, but let's just go. I know they did something in the story over here. Let's just head over here. This part, this game, I don't know. Let's do Act 1 together, you know? Let's do Act 1. We're going to the Hidden Village. Bringer of Pain, normal difficulty. Of course, my units... Okay, so funnily enough, before I skip through this, I accidentally, I don't even know how, I accidentally muted myself for the entirety of the rest of this. So you're kind of hearing just a voiceover of this part, but just a quick couple things. This game, like I said, it's very good at just the environment, the VFX, not so much the unit models. I think Universal Tower Defense has better models, but overall I think this game is very good on VFX, very good on scenery. It just lacks a bit in models. You can see they did put effort into it, but of course, after the great banning of anime games on Roblox, it just gets a bit cornered in terms of how it could be progressing. Now, fortunately enough for me, I still have the clips from this, and this is definitely the longest one. I don't remember if I mentioned this previously, but this is definitely my most played tower defense game. As you see, I'm like placing down Dio right now. I grinded a lot for serialized Dio. It did take me a while, but after I got serialized Dio, I mean, I'm going back here now to see whether or not my summons are strong enough to take out these units here. But after I got serialized Dio, it kind of just went downhill from there after the anniversary update, because that's when the secret Dio came out. I couldn't get Escanor like through the summer event at that time because I just didn't want to grind it per se. It felt really tedious and I didn't want to set up that system. I can understand why other people didn't do that at the time as well, but I know a lot of people have Escanor and a lot of builds are structured around Escanor in this game. And that's kind of one of my big issues with this game, is that when you have builds structured around two characters specifically, it kind of ruins the fun and uniqueness that the game has, because you're not going to see anyone using, you know, different characters and whatnot, because like obviously right now the strongest character is Ichigo, right? And then like the second strongest is like the I want to say Memoria with someone like Aizen, but it just depends on like the Aizen and whatnot. But like the power scaling that this game has, it's just not great. Each update you have a character that just demolishes the previous characters, and it just makes it so incredibly hard to actually enjoy the game. I mean, like if you look around, it just looks beautiful. I mean, of course you got paint up there, but it just looks beautiful. And unfortunately, this game is just held down specifically due to the fact that even looking at these trees, it's crazy how they have progressed. I know it's a little blocky there, but oh, and I fell through the map. Whoops. But even still, this game, it definitely needs some improvement, and you can see it very easily by its player count, which at the time of recording this is like 9,000 players versus UTTX, which is at like 50k, and anime like Re-Rangers or whatnot, which is at around a tad bit higher player count than Vanguard's. Currently, of course, I don't have my VFX on, which, let's see. Okay, now we can actually see it. So yeah, you can see like the VFX aren't bad. Like that VFX alone, I feel like is already better than like what we saw with Sukuna. But I'm just gonna skip forward this part, and then, because this is just the gameplay with these tower defense games. There's nothing really unique to this one that I would say, other than like the UI and how much time they had to develop this. Yeah, but outside of that, there really isn't too much about this game that I would have to personally place it at. Okay, so here is Re-Rangers X. Now, I personally, I think it's kind of interesting because this is technically almost not a tower defense game, but in the same way it is because of like its features and whatnot. Now, of course, I do have this at a ridiculous speed. I'll slow this down in a second, but there really isn't too much of a difference between this and anime Vanguards in Universal Tower Defense, with the sole exception of how the units in this game function. Again, there's like raids or story. There's in this game called Ranger stages, which is kind of like their legend stages. But yeah, it's pretty much the same exact concept. But in this game, you have to instead summon mobs to go fight against like this end tower thing, which is kind of like those mobile game ads, honestly. But of course, you know, I'm getting kind of dogged in this. My units are kind of outdated. You know, I thought Sukuna with Ruler or whatever that trait is on him would be good, but apparently, you know, it's not that great. But low key, I think if I had to place this game on a tier list between the previous two, I think I would have Re-Rangers number 2. Wait, no. I'll have Re-Rangers number 3. I'll have it number 3 because I think it has potential, or had potential in a way, but it's kind of miffed by the fact that it's currently being ran by like the Boss Studios. And if you know anything about the Boss Studios, the games they get kind of get in a way trashed by just the development cycles and whatnot. I mean, you had Anime Last Stand, which is owned by the Boss Studio, and you don't really see anyone playing that. So it's kind of just a bit ridiculous. It just solely in my opinion, of course. Also, the entirety of this is purely opinionated. This is not subjective truth of any matter specifically. But like what I'm showing with Anime Vanguards was really good at the whole units the unit models. They were good at the unit VFX, and for a while their development cycle was pretty good. But now you have contenders like Universal Tower Defense, where they're updating the game nearly weekly, and it's just very difficult for a game like Vanguards to keep up with it. I will say Re-Rangers X, even though it is being owned by the Boss Studios, so far it hasn't gone completely to the gutter, but I think you should really watch out for that. So definitively saying, I think the number 1 anime tower defense game right now has to be Universal Tower Defense X. It has the highest player count for a reason. There's not daily, but weekly content updates. And I just think it's the most enjoyable out of the bunch. So I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the next one.